tell you it broke down. It's not how it's supposed to work.
Now on NBC Palm Springs at 5, we're hearing from authorities investigating the presumed murder of 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro. What we're learning about the investigation.
Also tonight, Palm Springs Unified is working to strengthen student attendance. We'll have details on this initiative. That's coming up.
And a major cool down on the way for our Thursday. We'll more on that full forecast coming up. NBC Palm Springs at 5 starts right now.
Now, this is NBC Palm Springs.
Whatever you think of the criminal justice system and people need a break, someone who does that to a child belongs in prison, period.
Riverside County District Attorney Mike Hestron speaking at today's press conference. Authorities saying 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro was severely abused over time and died from those injuries. Prosecutors believe his father, 32-year-old Jake Haro, is responsible. Haro and his wife Rebecca both charged with murder and filing a false police report. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Olivia Sandusky.
Mark Messer, our coverage following today's press conference in Riverside does continue this evening. That's our top story. Multiple law enforcement agencies were present at the news conference today. One of the people there was our Brett Rosen, and tonight he has more on what law officials are telling him. And Brett joins us outside of the Haro home in Cabazon this evening. Brett?
Mark, here in Cabazon, just outside the home of Jake and Rebecca Haro, the parents who were charged with murder of their 7-month-old boy, Emmanuel Haro. Now, like you guys said earlier, there was a press conference earlier today in Riverside County at the DA's office where the DA, Riverside, and San Bernardino county sheriffs all spoke on details of this case to the media. One of those being how they still don't know where Emmanuel Haro remains are. However, they do have an inclination on where he may be. Now, tensions raised during the press conference with the DA saying how this all could have been preventable. Take a look.
Sir.
What kind of evidence did investigators have that led to the arrest of the parents without having the body?
Well, we've got a lot of evidence. We're going to have to play that out in court. I can't lay it out here today.
Today, a news conference inside the doors of the Riverside County District Attorney's office. Both Riverside County and San Bernardino sheriffs spoke to media about updates on the case of Emmanuel Haro, the 7-month-old baby that has been missing the past 2 weeks. Last Friday, both parents, Jake and Rebecca Haro, were arrested for the murder of their 7-month-old son. Jake Haro already has a past with a past charge of child cruelty back in 2018.
The child's name is Carolina. She is still alive today, but she is permanently bedridden. She has permanent damage.
However, Jake only received probation. And now District Attorney Mike Hestron says it wasn't just the parents that failed Emmanuel, but the justice system as well.
That decision was absolutely outrageous. Mr. Haro should have been in prison at the time that this crime happened. And if that judge had done his job as he should have done, Emmanuel would be alive today.
The district attorney's office says what truly happened to Emmanuel is still an ongoing investigation. However, they believe what took Emmanuel's life was child abuse.
The filing in this case reflects our belief that baby Emmanuel was abused, a victim of child abuse over time, and that eventually, because of that abuse, he succumbed to those injuries. That's what we believe.
Now, both Riverside County sheriffs and San Bernardino sheriffs are working together on the case. Both departments say they work better together.
After finding out those inconsistencies in the statement on the initial report, that's where hundreds of hours of investigations have come in by our Specialized Investigations Division to try to get to the bottom of what's really going on.
Neither one of us care about jurisdiction. Our belief is that the Inland Empire is better served when we are cooperating and working together.
Now, Mark and Olivia, as we've been looking at since this past Friday, the ever-growing memorial for Emmanuel Haro, just a couple feet from the Haro home. Now, when speaking to the DA's office, they talked about how they are not looking for a plea deal with the parents. They are looking to take this investigation and taking it to trial. Again, the new arraignment date for both Jake and Rebecca Haro being next week, September 4th. Live in Cabazon, in front of the Haro home, I'm Brett Rosen, NBC Palm Springs.
Brett, thank you. And if you've been following this case, perhaps on social media, you may have seen reports about Emmanuel circulating online today from the Uvalde Foundation for Kids. This report claims a police informant received a confession from Jake Haro in prison about his role in the death of Emmanuel. We've reached out to San Bernardino County sheriffs who say this information is inaccurate. During the press conference today, District Attorney Mike Haro also commenting on that report, discrediting it immediately.
I can tell you that that's not true. There's no confession made in jail. This is what happens when you've got all these folks out there online and these keyboard warriors. You get a lot of misinformation, and what you just said is not true. It's misinformation. So that's what I'll tell you did not happen.
Now, we've reached out to the Uvalde Foundation for Kids about the validity of their report and where they received their information. They replied saying, quote, "A legal confession was not made by Jake Haro in this case." We'll have more coverage on the investigation after the next court appearance scheduled for September 4th.
The Riverside County Sheriff's Office says a family from Hemet that was reported missing has now been found. We told you about Mother Lisa Trejo Cordero and her 2 kids. They were last seen in East Hemet back on August 6th. The family was scheduled to meet with Child Protective Services to finalize custody arrangements for the children. There is no information tonight on where they were located.
We'll take a little break from the headlines, take a live look outside our Agua Caliente casino camera in Rancho Mirage, where the clouds are back here in our view in the Coachella Valley. The last few days have been active in terms of some moisture, Chloe, and I hear you have some news for us in terms of our Thursday.
Incredible. I can't believe I get to say this. We are going to be in the 80s tomorrow.
Fabulous.
I feel like this is a joke still. I'm like, I'll believe it when I see it. But yes, cooler conditions, more cloud cover, and that'll extend even into next week. We get a little bit of drying for the weekend, but that cloud cover and monsoon moisture moves back in next week as well. So no complaints here, especially after we were under an extreme heat warning for a couple weeks in August. This is kind of our payment for going through that. As far as radar right now, it's showing a little bit, it looks like over the Santa Rosa Mountains, but pretty quiet across Southern California today. If you were outside this morning, clear skies. As we got to the afternoon, we're getting a little bit more of that cloud cover from Tropical Storm Juliet. So that is moving in, and that'll actually bring rain chances into our Thursday, which is also going to be cooling us down with those overcast skies. As far as future precipitation, the short range model here showing, maybe a little bit just south of 29 Palms there. Could see some sprinkles, some spillover from those mountains as we get into the 7 o'clock hour. It'll taper off by 7. North American model showing we might, as we get into our Thursday, this is the coverage for Thursday. So widespread coverage, it looks like over the Coachella Valley through the afternoon hours, but similar situation is what we've seen this week. Moisture and rain moves in through the afternoon and then dries out by the evening. So we can expect a little bit of rain as we get into our Thursday. 103 right now in downtown Palm Springs at the airport. Onshore flow, breezy winds for the passer. Here's a look at your comfortable 3-day forecast. So 88 for our Thursday. We'll stay below average through the rest of the work week. We'll break down more you can expect in that full forecast coming up.
All right, Chloe, thank you for that. The Palm Springs Unified School District is gearing up for National Attendance Awareness Month. It kicks off in September.
Tonight, our PSUSD contributor, Marian Bouchot, joins us in studio to share how the district is pushing for sharing strong attendance each and every day.
Consistent attendance is key to a student's success. I talked with our district leaders about what's being done to support students' attendance. Across the district, educators are working to change the way students and families think about showing up. At Desert Hot Springs High, Principal Omar Tinoco says it's not just about showing up. It's about showing up ready to learn.
To be a scholar, you have to be in that chair and actively try to learn something in order to make that change.
Like Desert Hot Springs High School student Joel Ruiz, one of the top students in his class.
I think having good attendance shows good character. It helps build good relationships with your teacher, showing that you do want to be there and you do want to learn. It also helps build good habits.
He says sports and extracurriculars help him keep on track.
There's things on campus to help you better yourself.
But District Student Services Coordinator Garrett Chaperjean knows some students face barriers outside of the classroom, like transportation, health issues, or having to work a job.
A lot of what we do is individualized with families. So when we find out that families are in need, we will dispatch our community liaison team to figure out the exact things that parents need. We have this amazing team that works to make sure that our kids can get to school every single day.
This September, the district will have Spirit Weeks, activities, and student prizes to encourage perfect attendance.
So we did see a dip after the pandemic, and so we are working actively to get that back up.
And district leaders say families play a key role by reaching out when they need support.
If we don't know, though, we can't help.
Attendance Awareness Month is all about setting students up for success one day at a time.
We want to set the tone for students coming to school, and we want everybody to have a really successful school year. And so this really kicks off our commitment to you that we are making all of our efforts known for attendance.
Strong attendance is a shared effort, so I can't stress enough to families to connect with their school site whenever challenges get in the way of attendance. And make sure to check your school's social media and their parent square for attendance competitions and prizes. Marian Bouchot, NBC Palm Springs.
Our thanks to Marian for that report. Coming up next here on NBC Palm Springs, are you looking for your next job? Well, reports say the job market is slowing, but an expert says employers appear to be favoring a certain demographic. We've got the details right after the break.
Also this evening, 2 children dead, 17 injured from a shooting in Minneapolis that happened this morning.
And nearly 60 million people play fantasy football each year. Our Tim O'Brien is one of them. Later on in sports, he'll join us live from a draft that's happening. He's got the details, so stay with us.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, towards the goal. The unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
Babies are experts at paying attention to only what is genuinely fascinating, and we couldn't agree more. NBC committed to covering our community. You're watching NBC Palm Springs at 5.
Welcome back. 2 children left dead after a shooting today at a Minneapolis Catholic school.
17 others are injured after bullets were fired during morning mass. 2 children aged 8 and 10 were killed after that gunman opened fire through the church's windows. 17 others were injured in this shooting. 14 of those victims are children, according to officials. Police confirmed the shooter, identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman, later died by suicide in the back of the church. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey joined law enforcement and City of Minneapolis leaders to comment on the tragedy.
Certainly a day and a news conference that no one wants to be at. A community behind us, Annunciation Church and School, committed to academics, service, and Catholic values, filled with the first days of school of beautiful children going to learn those values, share with their teachers and their classmates. And instead of that joy and that curiosity and that learning, they were met with evil and horror and death.
we need to be doing more than talking. It can't just be words. There needs to be action. And when we have seen school shooting after school shooting, when we have seen churches get shot up by horrible actors, I think the impetus has to be on all of us as leaders to do a whole lot more, to recognize that we've got more guns in this country than we have people.
President Trump has since ordered all flags to be flown at half-staff to honor the victims and their families.
All right, here's a live look outside from our Indian Wells Golf Resort camera. A lot of clouds hanging around the Coachella Valley. Chloe Carlson's tracking the next 7 days in just a few minutes, so stay with us.
Well, happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome back. Right now, we're taking a live look at the Walter Clark Hamilton Cam in Rancho Mirage. What a different scene from earlier today, right? If you were out this morning, we had clear blue skies, that sunrise, nice and clear. We saw the mountains there. And then as we got into the afternoon, overcast skies and some breezy winds, which is surprising in the Rancho Mirage area. 105 for the high today. So we are slightly below average for this time of year. That's a trend that will continue for us at least through the rest of the work week into Friday. Get a little bit warm for our weekend, so we'll mix it up there for you. 121 is that record-breaking number from 1981. No thank you on those 120s. Right now at this hour, triple digits in Desert Hot Springs, still 103 for Thousand Palms. Overnight tonight will be slightly cooler than what we were the last couple of nights. Will be low 80s, high 70s here for the desert floor. As far as winds go, great news here. We love to see the green there. That means single-digit winds for Yucca Valley, the southeast end of the Coachella Valley, and breezy for North Palm Springs, Desert Hot Springs. This is great. We got great winds, cooler conditions. Not a bad week for us here in August. As we get into later this week, we also are drying out, but not as much as we're used to. I've mentioned this, 5% is kind of typical for us in the desert, but that monsoon moisture not really going away. We dry out for the weekend, but then we will have this ridge of high pressure starting to build over Mexico. That's going to bring back that monsoon moisture next week as well. This is what we're tracking right now. This is Tropical Storm Juliet continuing to break down. So it's going to be a disturbance by Thursday, but because of it kind of moving parallel to Baja, you see it moving moisture into Southern California. So that's why we saw that cloud cover earlier today. That's going to continue to build into our Thursday. So again, this is updated. We're going to be 80s for the high on Thursday, but chance of rain for Southern California, very very light accumulation. We're not talking heavy rainfall here, but everyone will see a little bit of something. Ensemble models say maybe not the desert earlier. The short range model was saying we'll see a little bit. By Friday, we will start to dry out back to seasonal as we get into the weekend. Here's a look at your Comfort Air 7-day forecast. So like I said, 80s for our Thursday. We get back to seasonal Saturday, get 111, get one hot day in there, and then we get back to seasonal. We'll take it.
Yeah, we will take that. Thank you, Chloe. And if you saw our newscast yesterday, you heard our announcement, very bittersweet. This is Chloe Carlson's last week with us here at NBC Palm Springs. Has it hit you yet?
It has not. I don't think until I drive away will I know that I'm leaving.
We've got it in the rearview mirror. Okay,
Yes.
but throughout the week, we're going to be saying some goodbyes on air.
Oh, no.
We're going to all try not to cry. But tonight, this one is from, I think you know him very well, Fred Rogan wishing Chloe Carlson a goodbye.
So when I got here and I met her and I started to talk to her and I understood how likable she was and engaging and relatable to the audience, I said, let's try something different. I want you to come up with whatever you want every day, just have fun. That's how we created Super Weather.
Check it out, Fred. It's finally snowing. This is amazing. Why'd you have to do that? Why'd you have to do that?
I always wanted to be surprised sitting there watching. And that's why you saw me laughing so many times. I didn't even know what super weather was until we saw it on the air. Are you wondering what the weekend weather will look like?
Yeah, you know, just skip the weather animation. Why do I have to stand over there all the time? Why can't I sit here?
Well, you made quite the entrance tonight.
Thank you.
All
Yeah,
right.
you know, as usual. I gotta go.
All right.
That was fun. Good to see you.
And there she goes. And there goes super weather. Chloe has been a part of this family and a major part of it. What you don't see is how she interacts with the people in the office, how much she cares for her colleagues, and how truly genuine she is. Will she be missed? Of course she's going to be missed. We're all better knowing her and knowing that she's still going to be our friend and will still check in with us. And I promise you the people here will check in with her.
We got her. the first goodbye video, and we got tears. But what he said was very true, very genuine, and you do light up the newsroom.
Thank you so much. This is going to be rough.
Let's take the graphic because on Friday there's a goodbye party, a farewell bash for Chloe Carlson, and we want you all to be there. It's at the Palm Springs Surf Club. Please arrive. It starts at 4, goes until 7. Again, Friday the 29th, and we want you all there. So RSVP on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com. We'll be broadcasting live, so you have a chance to come say goodbye. Maybe jump on the newscast with us. It's a totally free event, but space is limited. Did I buy you enough time?
Yeah, I think so. I can talk now. Thank you so much, Fred, for that nice message. We all love getting to work with Fred. He's been such a great personality to have here. So thank you so much.
We'll be right back.
The NBC Palm Springs Sports Desk with Tim O'Brien. Brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos.
NFL action starts next week, and of course that means fantasy football is back. Our Tim O'Brien joining us live from La Quinta tonight, where a local media draft is underway. Tim, I need you to take a lot of notes. Last year, my fantasy football team was terrible.
Yeah, well, when you draft, Olivia, just Chargers, that's certainly not a recipe for success. We are at Sabatino's here in La Quinta. Of course, it is a draft night. Nearly 60 million people play fantasy football, and here at Sabatino's, it is all business. We've got Dr. St. Pierre. You see him live on the radio now as we speak on 102.7 The Fanatic. Joe Williams from Indian Wells Golf Resort. We've got the Niners, Rams, and of course, Packers, Cowboys, myself, and the Vikings well represented. So I want to bring you over here. Dome, come on over here. This is Jeff the Dome Bloom, 102.7 The Fanatic. You are live on the radio. We're live on TV. This is your 13th year doing this league. Has it gotten better, worse,
It's
crazier?
gotten better. It's gotten better every year. It's such a great opportunity to get with our listeners here. We have a listener league and a sponsor league for the show, and it's just a blast, and it's great that Sabatino's hosts us every year.
I love this. Sabatino's, of course, Austin, part owner here with his family, pizza, pasta, and wings. Dr. St. Pierre is the defending champion. I want to bring you over here. Doc, are you going to repeat? Are you going to repeat?
Oh, absolutely. I got a spot right here. I'm going to make sure we have Dr. Pat St. Pierre right here.
No bragging going on here at Sabatino's. Look, if you're coming on out, come on out. This is the 13th year of the league. I've got the 4th pick, Mark and Olivia, so I need some help. Please let me know who I should pick. Mark, you'll appreciate this. Fantasy football draft, the biggest talk is Alcaraz shaving his head. We'll see you back here coming up tonight at 6 more from Sabatino's in La Quinta. I'm Tim O'Brien.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
Babies are experts at paying attention to only what is genuinely.
All right, finally tonight, Sunnylands is bringing back their outdoor movie screenings following a 4-month hiatus over the summer. The theme is supernatural as we're coming up on Halloween, and it's modeled after the center's new exhibition, Curating Canopy, Trees at Sunnylands. A series of screenings will be held at 7:30 in the evening on September 12th, the 19th, and the 26th at Sunnylands. Screenings will feature Poltergeist, Sleepy Hollow, and Pan's Labyrinth.
Ooh, very spooky. Some scary ones on the list, but hopefully the weather cooperates. September 12th, everything's starting to cool off, so maybe it will start to feel like fall.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. And there at Sunnylands, a beautiful view there.
Gorgeous.
All right, Nightly News is next. We're back here at 6. We'll see you then.